you for joining my segment of Leading with Love COVID-19 Mini Series, Maximizing the Heart of Our Communities, sponsored by the Global Institute for Coaches and Entrepreneurs, Incorporated. You can find more information about the Institute at www.globalcoachentrepreneur.org. My name is Jeannetta. I am a mindset transformationist and business strategist, master life coach. I am a motivational and empowerment speaker. I am a published author. I am a real estate expert. I'm a leader and advocate in my community. I am an executive and creative producer for a reality show. And I am the host of my radio show, The Best You 365, where we motivate, educate, and transform. I'm coming to you from Dallas, Texas, where I use my knowledge of neuro-linguistic programming, human development, creative development, leadership development to encourage personal empowerment and peak performance in the person that matters the most, which is you. My passion is to help you personally and professionally step into your own by providing a personalized solution with proven strategies that transform individuals and organizational culturally. Stephen Pressfield once said, the amateurs believe he must first overcome his fear. Then he can do his work. The professionals knows that fear can never be overcome. He knows there is no such thing as a fearless warrior or a dread-free artist. Today, I will be speaking to you on fear, breaking through fear. Throughout this series, I would like for you to get comfortable, relax, sit back, and come with me on a journey. The only thing you need on this journey is an open mind, an open heart, and a desire to transform. Now, I want you to imagine that having fear or having fear to be no longer an aspect in your life. What would you do? What would you give? What would you change? What would you become? Those who make the greatest impact in life are those who choose to dismiss fear and take decisive actions instead. That could be you. Now let's face it, fear is a buzz killer. It can destroy your lives, our dreams. It can cause our business to fail. It can destroy our self-confidence, our self-esteem, our talent, our skills, our ambition. Our abilities to achieve business success is directly related to how well we break through fear. What fears are holding you back from achieving the things you want? Now, I've done some research on this, and I have come across some of the most common fears, and I want to share them with you. So there are fears out there that corrupt government officials will take over. There's fears of criticism. There's fears of poverty. There's fears of ill health. People have fear of rejection. You have people who have fear of success. There's fear of failure. There's fear of old age, and we know that because there's so many products for anti-aging and youth serums. There's fear of death. There's fear of displacement. And there's actually fear of the unknown. Did you know that the number one fear is public speaking? Yeah. There's more people afraid of getting on stage and making a fool out of themselves than feared of dying alone. I remember back when I first started public speaking. I got my first gig, and the event director called me to invite me out to speak to a group of REIT, which is real estate investment and trust. So these are people who invest in real estate. So when I asked her what was the group wanting to know their top interests for me to speak on, he replied, "We're open for whatever." Whatever? I think not. I knew that this was a tough crowd, and I knew that I had to get up there and speak on something that was important to them. So 2 days prior to the event, I decided to fly out to Chicago, Illinois, where they were having the event, but I wanted to fly out 2 days prior so I can get my mind and my body in a line. I was so unbothered by the event. So I took the first day and did a tour of Chicago. So for the next day, I figured I would stay in and work on everything. So the next day came and it was very stormy there, very stormy outside. And in fact, the hotel concierge was telling me it was the worst storm that they had in years. So that day I had to stay in my room, but I didn't want to. So I would move from the lobby to the center to the shops. And basically I was just trying to stay in the hotel, but not in a place where it was just stagnant. So the day before the event, it was very chaotic, needless to say. And I just couldn't help but to worry. I was worried about what this storm is going to bring, if enough people are not going to show up, what if they cancel and I came this far, I was just a mess. I was a mess. So the night before the event, needless to say, it was a long night because I did not sleep. So now we're here for the big day of the event. So I got up and I ordered room service, and room service said it's going to be delayed because of the storm. So I said, okay. So I jumped in the shower to take a hot shower, and there was no hot water. I called down to room service, and they said, due to the storm, there's no hot water. Okay. So as you can see, that day started off pretty bad. So I began to play this doom and gloom movie over and over and over in my head. And this was the movie. The movie went something like this. You're going to walk into the event. The host is going to call your name. You're going to walk up to the stage and you're going to fall right in front of all those people. And now that they know your name, they're going to Google you. They're going to put you on social media. And yes, somebody's going to have a video and they're going to videotape you. And it's going to be everywhere. And even though you don't get a lot of hits now, you're going to have like 5 million hits of you falling on stage. Now, how ridiculous is that? But what's truly odd of that's happening is 1 and 2 million. So let's deal with the fear. Let's say it did happen. What next? What then? Well, I guess I'll either lay there on stage or I get up and continue to do what I do. So if you can play a movie of fear in your head over and over and over and over, why not play a movie of something positive? Why not play a movie of success? A positive and successful movie over and over that ends in positive and a successful result. Well, let's get back to reality. So a car picked me up at the hotel on time, and the storm had stopped and there was people out and about, and I arrived at the event. I was greeted by the attendees, and it was a lot of people. I had plenty of time to eat, as well as I was able to meet some of the attendees and greet them and learn more of their interests and their hotspots, which gave me more information for my speech and more opportunity to relax. By the time they called me up to the stage, an hour had passed. So, needless to say, my shoes wasn't wet. So I made my way to the stage and the fear was no longer a factor. I stood on the stage, I took in the view of thousands of participants, took a deep breath, and knocked it out the park with a standing ovation. You know, John Keats once said, "I was never afraid of failure, for I would sooner fail than not be amongst the greatest." Everyone has fear, one time or another. From the CEO to the celebrities to the salesperson and everybody in between. We all suffer from fear. Fear that holds us back from getting what we want. We all suffer from that. But if we don't have a strategy for shaking it off the moment it arrives, then we end up living disparate lives where we allow our emotions to rule us instead of beginning the process of healing. Nobody wants to live that way. I know for me, I don't. So if you're ready to break through your fears, then consider practicing some of these proven and practical habits to live the life that you're capable of. Mark Twain once said, "Courage is resistance to fear. Mastery of fear, not absence of fear." You know, doing my research, I discovered something very interesting. You know, we are born with two fears: the fear of falling and the fear of loud noises. What that means is that we have learned, unfortunately, that we ourselves have acquired unhealthy fears. Unhealthy fears that are holding us back from living the life that we deserve. It is essential to become more aware and to identify what we are fearful of. How we respond to fear and how we break through it, it's up to us. So what I want you to do, I want you to get a piece of paper and I want you to write down a list of things that you're fearful of so we can overcome them together. These things are holding you back and we want to eradicate those fears. Nelson Mandela once said, "I learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. The brave man is not he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers that fear." Wow. Wow. Throughout this series, you will discover ways to apply life-changing neuro-linguistic programming principles into your everyday life. I will help you understand fear, anxieties, and destructive emotions. We will master your thinking and take control of emotional states. We will grow in character, maturity, and strength. I will help you focus your attention on what you want and less on what you're fear of. And we will go over much, much more. You know, Les Brown once said, "Too many of us are not living in our dream because we're living in our fear." Over the next 3 sessions, I would like for you to join me so we can break through fear. Thank you to the Global Institute for Coaches and Entrepreneurs for building this platform of the heart. You can find me on Facebook, on Instagram, or go to my website, www.imaginary GLASSCEILING.com. That's www.imaginaryglassceiling.com.